this with some updated Pokemon. Let's go. This Pokemon is a psychic Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 488. And once again, that was 488. This Pokemon is considered a lunar Pokemon. And once again, that was a lunar Pokemon. Lunar Pokemon. I'll give you a few seconds. Ready? If you guess. Cresella, you got that right. Next Pokemon is also a psychic Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 888. And once again, that was 888. This Pokemon is a warrior Pokemon. This Pokemon is classified as a warrior Pokemon. And that was a warrior Pokemon. Ready? If you guess Psycan, then you're on a roll. Next Pokemon is a dark Pokemon. This Pokemon is a dark Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 551. Once again, this Pokemon's Pokédex number is 551. This Pokemon is classified as a desert rock Pokemon. And that was a desert rock Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Ram that does 10 damage. Ready? Guess. Sandil. Next, this Pokemon is a Thunder Pokemon, and that was a Thunder Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 836, and that was 836. This Pokemon is classified as a dog Pokemon, and that was a dog Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Electric Run that does 70 plus damage. 70 plus damage. That Pokemon is Bolton. Next Pokemon. This Pokemon is a fire Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is number 5. This Pokemon's number is number 5. This Pokemon has a move called Steady Fire Breathing. And that move was called Steady Fire Breathing. Got your guess? If you guessed. Charmeleon. Good job. Next Pokemon is also a dark Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 461, and that was 461. This Pokemon has a move called Relatory Claw that does 20 plus damage. This Pokemon is a Sharp Claw Pokemon. That is what this Pokemon is classified as, a Sharp Claw Pokemon. Ready? This Pokemon, what you guess? Did you guess Weevil? Next Pokemon is a Steel Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 1018. Once again, that was 1018 for this Pokemon specifically. This Pokemon is considered an alloy Pokemon archetype, an alloy Pokemon archetype. This Pokemon has an attack called Coded Attack that does 120 damage. And that was Coded Attack that does 120 damage. Ready? If you guessed Arclodon. Good. This Pokemon is a dark Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 302, and that was 302. Once again, that was 302. This Pokemon is a darkness Pokemon. It is classified as a darkness Pokemon. And that was a darkness Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Cocky Claw for 20 plus damage, and that was Cocky Claw for 20 plus damage. Ready? Did you guess Sable Eye? We got a lot of new Pokemon after we open those packs, so I'm trying to throw you off. This next Pokemon is a water type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 393. And this Pokemon is a penguin Pokemon. It is classified as a penguin Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Tackle that does 20 damage. I think I'm gonna start actually not naming the actual number of the Pokemon and make it a little bit hard on you. We'll see. Maybe you'll bring me some good luck to get the full art Piplup. Next Pokemon is a grass type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 43 and it is classified as a weed Pokemon. And that was a weed Pokemon, not the weed you smoke. No, a weed Pokemon. I don't know why I said that, so random. Ignore that. I'll give you a few seconds. Ready? This Pokemon, if you guessed, would be Oddish. Next Pokemon is a Thunder type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 921, and that was 921. This Pokemon is classified as a mouse Pokemon, and that was a mouse Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Tiny Charge that does 10 damage. Next, ready? If you guessed Palmy, then you're doing good. Next Pokemon is a fire type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 935, and that was 935. This Pokemon is a fire child Pokemon, and that was a fire child Pokemon. This Pokemon's number, Pokemon has an attack called Chomp that does 10 damage. I'll give you a few seconds on that one as well. If you guess Charcadet, then you would have got that, and I wouldn't have. Next Pokemon is a Psychic type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 562, and it is classified as a Spirit Pokemon. Once again, this number is 562 and was classified as a Spirit Pokemon. If you guessed, ready? If you guessed Yamask, you're on it. This next Pokemon is a colorless Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 133, and that was 133. This Pokemon height is 1 inch tall and weighs only 14.3 pounds. This Pokemon has an attack called Reckless Charge that does 30 damage. Few seconds on that. Did your guess? If you guessed Eevee. Next Pokemon is a fighting type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 56, and this Pokemon has an archetype of a big monkey Pokemon. Once again, this number was 56 and has an archetype of big monkey Pokemon. It has an attack called Wild Kick, and that was Wild Kick. Ready? Lock your guess in. I hope you guessed Mankey, right? Next card. This next card is a dark type Pokemon. This card's number is 318, and that was 318. This card is the category of a savage Pokemon, and that was a savage Pokemon. Couple seconds to guess. If you guess Carnivine. Next card. This Pokemon is a psychic type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 946. Once again, that was 946. This Pokemon is classified as a tumbleweed Pokemon, and that was a tumbleweed Pokemon. This Pokemon's has a move called Sneaky Placement. I'll give you a few seconds. If you guessed Bramlin, good job. Next Pokemon is also a psychic type Pokemon. This Pokemon is numbered 375, and that is 375. This Pokemon is an Iron Claw Pokemon. Once again, that was an Iron Claw Pokemon. This Pokemon has two moves, Psychic Punch and Sin Headbutt. And that was Sin Headbutt. And that is Psy Punch. Psy Punch. I'll give you a few seconds to guess what this Pokemon is. Ready? If you guess Metane. and that was 906. This Pokemon is a grass cat Pokemon and is classified as a grass cat Pokemon. It has a move called Tons of Treading. And that was a move called Tons of Treading. Ready? If you guessed. Spigarito. Good job. Next Pokemon is a fighting type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 744, and that was 744. This Pokemon is classified as a puppy Pokemon, and that was a puppy Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Dig It Up and Stampede that does 20 damage, and that was 20 damage. Alright. I'll give you a couple seconds. If you guessed Rockruff, you know your Pokemon. Next Pokemon is a grass type Pokemon, and that was a grass type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 10, and that was 10-10. This Pokemon is a worm Pokemon, and that was a worm Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Bug Bite, and that was a move called Bug Bite. Ready? If you guessed Caterpie, you know your Gen 1s. Next Pokemon is a water type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 473. Once again, that was 473. This Pokemon is classified as a twin tusk Pokemon, and that was a twin tusk Pokemon. This Pokemon has two moves. One move called Wreck, and a second move, Blizzard Edge. And that was Wreck and Blizzard Edge. Next. Ready? If you guessed. Mammal Swine. Next. Pokemon. This Pokemon is a fighting type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 443. Once again, that was 443. This Pokemon is classified as a land shark Pokemon, and that was a land shark Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Rock Hurl, and that was Rock Hurl. That does 20 damage. Few seconds. Did you guess Gibble? Bonus points if you got guess Cynthia's Gibble. Next Pokemon is a fire type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 637, and that was 637. This Pokemon is classified as a sun Pokemon, and that was a sun Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Smoldering Scales that does 80 damage, and that was Smoldering Scale. I'll give you a few seconds. If you guess Volcarona, you're on to it. This Pokemon is a dark Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 920, and that was 920. This Pokemon is considered a grasshopper Pokemon, and that was a grasshopper Pokemon. Sorry. Okay, I'll give you a few seconds. If you guessed Lokix, good job. This next Pokemon is a lightning type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 941, and that is 941. This Pokemon is a frigid bird Pokemon. It is classified as a frigid bird Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Match Bolt, and that was Match Bolt. Right. This Pokemon is Kilowurton. I butchered that name, but I hope you got that right. This next Pokemon is a colorless Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 714, and that was 714. This Pokemon is a sound wave Pokemon, which is they are classified as a sound wave Pokemon. And has one move, Rapid Draw for 10. guess that Pokemon? Did you guess? Noibat. Next Pokemon is a fire type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 229, and that was 229. 229. This Pokemon is classified as a dark Pokemon, and that was a dark Pokemon. This Pokemon has two moves, Growl Coal, and Scoring Fire, and that was Scoring Fire. Scoring Fire. Guess that Pokemon. Did you guess? Houndoom. Next Pokemon is a water type Pokemon, and that was a water type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 220, and that's 220. This Pokemon is a water weed Pokemon. It's classified as a water weed Pokemon. It has one move called Water Gun for 20. If you guess, Lotad. Got it. This next Pokemon is a colorless Pokemon, and that was a colorless Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 19, and it's classified as a mouse Pokemon, and that was a mouse Pokemon with the number on the Pokédex being 19. This Pokemon has a move called Dangerous Incisors. If you guessed, Rattata. Good. This next Pokemon is a water type Pokemon, and that was a water type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 419. This Pokemon is classified as a Sea Weasel Pokemon, and that was a Sea Weasel Pokemon. This Pokemon has two moves, Whirlpool and Aqua Splash, and that was Whirlpool and Aqua Splash. Did you guess that Pokemon? If you guessed, Flozeal. Good job. This next Pokemon is a Steel Pokemon, and that was a Steel Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 889, and once again, that was 889. This Pokemon is a Warrior Pokemon that's classified as a Warrior Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Strong Bash. Once again, there was a move called Strong Bash. Ready? If you guessed Zamazenta, then you would be right. Next Pokemon is a Lightning type Pokemon, and that was a Lightning type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 179. Once again, that was 179. This Pokemon is a Wool Pokemon, and is classified as a Wool Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Tiny Bolt. If you guessed, Mareep. Good job. This Pokemon is a Leaf type Pokemon, and that was a Leaf type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 285, and that is 285. That was 285. This Pokemon is classified as a Mushroom Pokemon, and that was a Mushroom Pokemon. This Pokemon has one attack called Rolling Tackle. That was Rolling Tackle. Guess that Pokemon. Did you guess? Shroomish. You know your Pokemon. Next Pokemon is a Lightning type Pokemon, and that was a Lightning type Pokemon. This Pokemon has a number of 310. That is 310. That was 310. This Pokemon is a Discharge Pokemon. It's classified as a Discharge Pokemon, and that was a Discharge Pokemon. This Pokemon has two moves, Zap Kick and Flash Impact. Once again, that was Zap Kick and Flash Impact. Now, if you guessed Manectric, then you're on a roll. Next Pokemon is a Grass type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 102. That is 102. This Pokemon is an Egg Pokemon, which is classified as an Egg Pokemon. This Pokemon has one move called Absorb, and that was Absorb. Guess that Pokemon. I'll give you a few seconds. If you guessed, Execute. What a nice one. This next Pokemon is a Psychic type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 678, and that is 678. 678. This Pokemon is a Construct Pokemon is classified as a Construct Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Psy Shot, and that was Psy Shot. Guess that Pokemon. If you guessed Meowistic, good. This Pokemon is also a Psychic type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 468. Once again, that was 468. This Pokemon is a Jubilee Pokemon, which is classified as a Jubilee Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Speed Wing, and that was Speed Wing. Ready? Guess that Pokemon. If you guessed Togekiss, good job. Next Pokemon is a Fire type Pokemon, and that was a Fire type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 850. That's 850. 850. 850. This Pokemon is classified as a Radiator Pokemon, and once again, that was a Radiator Pokemon. This Pokemon has two moves: Live Cold and Hook. Live Cold and Hook. Take a few seconds. Guess that Pokemon. If you guess Sizzlebead. Got it. This next Pokemon is a Grass type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 781. Once again, that was 781. This Pokemon is classified as a Sea Creeper Pokemon, and that was a Sea Creeper Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move that does 80 damage called Annihilating Anchor. Once again, that was Annihilating Anchor. Guess that Pokemon. If you guessed Dolomize, you're onto something. This next Pokemon is a Fire type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 910. That is 910, and that was 910. This Pokemon is a Fire Croc Pokemon. This Pokemon is classified as a Fire Croc Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Heat Breath that does 30 plus damage, and that was Heat Breath that does 30 plus damage. A few seconds on that. If you guys Crocolore, you're onto something. This next Pokemon is a Fighting type Pokemon. Once again, this was a Fighting type Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Poison Ring. This Pokemon's number is 472. That's 472. This Pokemon is classified as a Fang Scorpion Pokemon, and that was a Fang Scorpion Pokemon. Few seconds. Guess that Pokemon. If you guess Gliscor. What a pull. Love Gliscor. Next Pokemon is a Grass type Pokemon. This Pokemon has a number of 666. That is 666. This Pokemon is classified as a Scale Pokemon. Once again, this Pokemon was classified as a Scale Pokemon. This Pokemon has two moves: Evo Powder, and the second move being Cutting Wind that does 90 damage. Guess that Pokemon. Vivillon, if you got that. This next Pokemon is a Fire type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 146. Once again, that was 146. This Pokemon is classified as a Flame Pokemon, and that was a Flame Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Fighting Swing, and that was Fighting Swings. Let's see if you can get this one. Guess that Pokemon. If you guessed Moltres, one of the three legendary birds, you're onto it. This Pokemon is a Psychic type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 200. That is 200. This Pokemon is classified as a Screech Pokemon, and that was a Screech Pokemon. This Pokemon has one move, and that move is Petty Grudge. That does 20 damage, and once again, that was Petty Grudge. Now, if you guessed Mr. I already gave it to you, but if you guessed Mr. Reese, you got it. Got excited on that one. This next Pokemon is a Grass type Pokemon. We already went through this, so let's see if you can remember. This Pokemon's number is 43, and is classified as a Weed Pokemon, and that was a Weed Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Seed Bomb that does 20 damage. Pokemon's number is 92. That is 9-2. This Pokemon is a gas Pokemon, which they're classified as a gas Pokemon. This Pokemon has one move called Petty Grudge. One of my, well, the evolution to my favorite Pokemon if you've been paying attention to my videos. Guess that Pokemon if you guessed. Ghastly. You got it. Alright. This next Pokemon is a... Cut that part out to coming. This next Pokemon is a steel Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move of 800. It's classified as 884. That'd be crazy if it had a move that did 884 damage. What a crazy Pokemon. But when you see it, you probably be like, yeah, that Pokemon probably could. This Pokemon is classified as an alloy Pokemon. An alloy Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Hyper Beam that does 70 damage. And that was a move called Hyper Beam that does 70 damage. Alright. Guess that Pokemon. If you guess Durlodon. It looks like it can do that much damage, but good job. This next Pokemon is a dark type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 890, and that is 890. This Pokemon is classified as a Gigant. I'm thinking of the manga. Gigantic Pokemon. This Pokemon is classified as a gigantic Pokemon. This Pokemon has two moves. Shatter, that does 50, and also Power Rush, that does 130. Ready? Guess that Pokemon. If you guess Eternus, you're eternally good. Next Pokemon is a colorless Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 40, and that was 40. This Pokemon is classified as a balloon Pokemon, and that was a balloon Pokemon. This Pokemon has two moves. Round, that does 40 damage, and Seismic Toss, which probably gave it away, that does 100 damage. So we're not going to spend too long on this one. Guess that Pokemon if you guessed Wigglytuff. Great job. This next Pokemon is a grass type Pokemon, and that was a grass type Pokemon. This Pokemon this Pokemon's number is 920. That is 920. This Pokemon is classified as a grasshopper Pokemon. Once again, that was a grasshopper Pokemon. This Pokemon has two moves. Low kick, that does 30 damage, and jumping shot, that does 150 damage. I'll give you some time. If you guessed low kicks, good job. This next Pokemon is a fighting type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 328. That is 328. This Pokemon is classified as an ant pit Pokemon, and that was a ant pit Pokemon. This Pokemon has a move called Double Headbutt, and that was Double Headbutt. Next up, if you guess, Trap Inch. Great job. Last three cards. This Pokemon is a water type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 221. That was 221. This Pokemon is classified as a swine Pokemon, and that was a swine Pokemon. This Pokemon has two moves. Rising Lunge, that does 30 plus damage, and Frost Smash, that does 70 damage. Guess that Pokemon if you guess Piloswine. Great job. Next Pokemon is a grass type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 919, which is 919. This Pokemon is classified as a grasshopper Pokemon, and that was a grasshopper Pokemon. This Pokemon has one move called Flail Around, and that was Flail Around. That does 10 times damage. This is the second to last card. So let's see if you get this. Guess that Pokemon if you guessed Nimble. Then good job. Last card of the video. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed this. This Pokemon is a fire type Pokemon. This Pokemon's number is 554. That was 554. This Pokemon is a Zen Charm Pokemon, and that was a Zen Charm Pokemon. This Pokemon has one move called Blaze Ball, and that was Blaze Ball. I'll give you a little time. is a different day. I didn't get to finish it from the last, but I still hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hype the videos to support this channel. We're still on the road to 2,500 subs. So thank you all for everybody that has returned and anybody that is new. I hope you stick around. More Pokemon content to come in the future. Always drop down below how many you got right and what type of videos you want to see. I'm always taking recommendations and everything like that.